You know, people ask me, why do I do this to myself? Much like with the Transformers review, much like with the Mummy, the one comment I usually get in movies which people perceive are going to be better, Nico, dude, why do you do this to yourself? The short answer is, so you guys don't have to. So I'm going to start off on a positive here. For the first 20 minutes of this movie, the Emoji Movie actually manages to explain the life and daily life of an emoji on the big screen in a pretty interesting and engaging way. It gives you a bit of insight into the favourite emoji club. It also gives you a bit of insight into some creative ways that you can combine emojis together. Elephant and cloud, I'm looking at you. And you get some chuckles here and there. But as the Emoji Movie goes on, it proves itself to be as misguided as everyone, including myself, thought it was going to be. So here's what it's about. The Emoji Movie takes place in a place called Textopolis. I know, right on the nose, isn't it? And basically all of these emojis are waiting to be scanned by their telephone's owner, ready for use in their day-to-day life. Now the interesting part is that every single emoji is only meant to behave the way their emoji is conveying themselves. So happy can only be happy, poo can only be poo, read into that what you will. Sad can only be sad. And we're introduced to Gene, a meh emoji. Now the problem with Gene, voiced by TJ Miller, is that he's full of emotions. He's not just meh, he's multi-dimensional. So maybe that's a little subliminal undertone to say that we're all multi-dimensional in life, but I think I'm reading way too much into that. Anyway, the tall and short of it is that Gene cannot stick to the rules. Essentially, he cannot just be the meh emoji, and as a result of displaying his multitude of emotions, he is banished to the place where emojis that hardly get used are. Now the thing is that Gene thinks that he's a malfunctioning emoji, so he goes to find a hacker named Jailbreak. Yeah, on the nose again. Who he thinks may be able to help fix his source code and help him be the perfect meh emoji. The thing that the Emoji Movie is most guilty of is that it feels like an amalgamation of stolen ideas from recent great animated movies. It tries to recreate the very on-the-nose comedic style of the Lego Movie. It doesn't succeed in doing it. Although I still say the comedy is on the nose, it's just not funny. It also tries to... It didn't fail so much in this, but it tries to borrow from the same sort of bringing to life of the virtual world that Wreck-It Ralph did. It wasn't actually that bad in that aspect, but Wreck-It Ralph is a far superior movie in that sense. And it also tries to do the same message that Inside Out did, and in that sense it fails abysmally. It just lacks complete insight or subtlety. I'm going to point it out right here. The two main parts of this movie that stood out to me, where I thought, actually that's a good idea, please develop. So you've got this scene in the classroom where all these kids are on their phones and essentially, you know, not communicating with each other. And you think, okay, actually, that's a very, very relevant social commentary as to what's going on with all of us now. I mean, how many people do you see walking down the street on their phone, bumping into you and actually not looking up? We all do it. I mean, it's not good, but we all do it. I know the Emoji Movie brings that to life, but instead of actually developing the idea, it just kind of says, this is happening. Okay, please develop. Then you've also got this very, very interesting feminist argument that happens from Jailbreak. And this stuck with me because I thought, nice observation. She says that when the emojis first came to existence, the only female emojis were angels or princesses. Okay, interesting point. Please develop. Problem with this movie is that it thinks it's just good enough to point out that these things exist, but without actually having a point of view on them. And without even developing what they actually are as a theme in the movie, which is something Inside Out did very well. However, the cast are good. TJ Miller, always great, brilliant in Deadpool. That was my standout role for him. He's great as Matt. Anna Faris does a brilliant feminist approach with her character Jailbreak. Patrick Stewart, though I really don't believe that he actually turned up to a recording studio. I believe that he just did a few recordings on his iPhone and sent them into them, because his role is so minor. But even that, because it's Patrick Stewart, he was great. He was the poo emoji, and he was a great poo. It's the weirdest sentence I think I'm ever going to say in a review. Moving on. While the Emoji Movie does find some ingenious ways, and I legitimately mean ingenious ways, of exploring the day-to-day life of an emoji, its complete inability to deliver emotionally or thematically is actually what stops it being a worthwhile experience. In conclusion, guys, I'm going to score the Emoji Movie 4 out of 10. It is by no means the worst movie of the year. Oh, no. You know where I'm going to be sending that accolade come my top 10 worst movies of the year. This won't make the list, but the Emoji Movie, although people laughed at it, my attitude was always, you know what, we live in a world where the Lego Movie was a success. We live in a world where Wreck-It Ralph was a success. We live in a world where Inside Out was a success. All movies, especially the Lego Movie, which people thought, this is ridiculous. There was a lot of promise here. It was just never fleshed out. It was never fully developed. And much like its main character, this movie is very meh. And the biggest critique I can have of this movie is that obviously I appreciate I may not be the target demographic here. This movie was first and foremost designed for kids, and that's something I'd like to address in this conclusion. The day I went, looked around the cinema auditorium, and the majority of people were there, from what I could see, parents with kids. So that says it all. And here's the most damning comment I could make of the Emoji Movie. You didn't hear much kid laughter in there. So even the target demographic missed out. As a result, meh score for a meh movie. So over to you guys. I want to hear what you have to say. Have you seen the Emoji Movie and what did you think of it? Please, as always, leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Give this video a thumbs up and be sure to hit that subscribe button, guys. And until next time, from Nicoluro, see ya.